Hi everyone, in this video I want to show you how I manage my projects, as I am a fantasy writer and I'm also working on making a game, and I'm also creating content for this channel and also two other YouTube channels, one in streaming and one in kind of my writing. So I thought today I want to share you my tips on how I manage my time, track progress and keep track of everything I'm doing. One of the apps I came across in my writing journey is Evernote. This is basically an app that unfortunately is paid, not too expensive, but still you have to pay for it, where I keep track of all my notes into basically stacks, which are basically folders. And in those notes, I would attach any links that I found relevant, like reference materials. I might attach files, Excel sheets, like for example, one Excel sheet I'm using is to keep track of my Steam views and days the views have spiked, so I can keep track of the social media postings that I'm doing, so I can get a better understanding where the traffic is coming from to my Steam page. So in this Evernote, I create many notes where I attach everything that's relevant to this project. I use Evernote for all my projects. So I have different stacks, i.e. folders for my YouTube channel, my writing projects and my game development. At the moment it's a chaotic mess, but the most important thing is I have every idea recorded. This means whether I'm on my phone or at my computer, I have all my notes in one place. I find this particularly helpful and important to keep track of my story ideas for future books or games I hope to make. This means every time I have a great idea, it's never forgotten, because it may be a few months, it might be even next year or the following year before I even get at it. And maybe I might not use it in the end, but at least I know that I've gone in the habit to keep track of my ideas, my stories. So if I ever do use it, it's there and it's never forgotten. It's very important to get in the habit to keep track of ideas. This hopefully will probably calm your mind a bit, because you're not constantly thinking about, I don't want to forget this, because you put it in your note. But unfortunately this app is paid. The other app that I think is good, is free, is Microsoft OneNote. Basically it's the same idea, same concept. You create notes, you put them into folders and you organize them. Most important thing is just to use clear titles, so you can find what you're looking for quite quickly. Like for example, I would have in my writing, I might have story ideas, I might have another note for marketing. In games I might have like a folder for game development. I also would have a separate one for writing, for story, and then marketing, and then any other notes that I want to separate, I create more. But the most important thing, you keep track of everything's important, so you never forget. Before I go on to my next item that I do use in Evernote, I want to mention that I did create a step-to-step guide on publishing a game. So this will kind of go over pre-launch, launch week and post-launch. Maybe you might find this very helpful, and it's free to download if you sign up to my newsletter. And obviously if you sign up to my newsletter just to get the free planner and you want to unsubscribe, that's no problem. I really don't mind. But if you're interested in staying around and getting more tips and like to stay in my newsletter, that'd be amazing. Again, if you want to unsubscribe at any time, you can easily it'll be at the bottom of my email. Now, let's go back to the other item I use to keep track of what I do. Another item I use, which is in Evernote, is create a to-do list, and then checking off the tasks when they're complete. I find this very satisfying about seeing a task disappears, and it also helps me keep track of my progress. So what I'm trying to get in the habit now is create a big different tasks for different stages. So I say maybe I might have a reminder to publish my book within 6 months. So I'll set a reminder in 6 months time, so I have a big goal to achieve. And then I'll have smaller goals to do, maybe a weekly where I might want to reach a certain word count in game development. When I do get back to it, 'cause I'm focused on writing at the moment, I might have a weekly goal. Okay, I want to get this mechanic done, and I might set that in 2 weeks time. And then I might set a daily task for something that are very small that I can actually do. My weekly task could be, for this week, would be try to write 2,000 words most days. I also create this video. I probably do it on a Saturday, Sunday because I have time. I try to send newsletters once a month to my audience, so I have a task then to write a newsletter to my fans in my writing. So also in Evernote it has like a to-do list, but what's important I like about it is set reminders, so I could get a notification on my computer or my phone on a day when I set the reminder. So what could be particularly handy is, let's say I know Twitter does screenshot Saturday, so maybe you want to do a tweet every Saturday. So I'll set a reminder to do tasks on every Saturday that remind me at a certain time to do it, so I won't forget. But yeah, so overall, setting tasks in different stages, like a project you want to get done in a few months' time, to weekly tasks, to daily tasks, and setting reminders where relevant, so you won't forget and you get in good habit. And the one thing I absolutely love about setting tasks is, especially when you don't fully delete them, is looking track on your progress and see how far you come. Like, I love looking back on old stories and see how much I've improved. You kind of forget what you're doing because you're doing so much. So it's nice having those tasks and looking back on your journey, so you're motivated. For one, you see how far you come. Two, you're actually doing stuff, even though it feels like you're getting nothing done when you actually are. And by setting task reminders, it's keeping you motivated, it's tracking your progress, and then also you won't forget on items you need to do. But like I said, Evernote is paid, so another option you could use is Microsoft To-Do List, and that is the very same thing. It's just a different app where you can set to-do lists and set reminders so you get notified, and then you can use your calendar to set reminders also. Evernote does have a calendar inside, so that's why I like Evernote, because it has everything I need in one project, so I'm not juggling between three. It is paid, so it might not suit everyone. So those are the tools that I use to keep organised as a writer, game developer and content creator. It's all by finding out what works best for you. So maybe you don't like using apps and you're a notebook person, use that. Just most important, trying to get a habit to keep track of what you're doing, ticking off and writing down your ideas so you won't forget. Before you go, I want to mention I have written a short book on how to set up your YouTube channel, focusing on gaming and game development. If you're interested in buying the book, the link's in the description below. I hope you found these tips helpful, and if you have any questions, please comment below. I'm happy to answer them. If you're liking this video and the content I'm creating, these tips, please don't forget to follow me, and if there's a like button, press that. If you're curious about the game I'm working on, it's called Separated by Nightmares: The Last Stand. If you want to help me out, a fellow game developer, please wishlist this game in Steam. It will help me dramatically on launch day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.